there are many different issues, but if I was to say right off the top of my head, access to proper fitting PPE is still a huge issue for us here. And just to give you an example, often, and even the PPE that's being developed these days, women are different proportions to men, of course. And there are things as simple as women in occupational health and safety who, for instance, have field-facing roles, being able to access and comfortably access your bodily functions while wearing PPE, for example, coveralls, still is an issue for us. And for those of us, both Shannon and I have done some time in the field, so to speak, access to clean facilities and toilets is still an issue in many organizations. We're still trying to deal with women in their entirety in the workplace as far as our reproductive cycle. So how you address women, when they're pregnant, and how do we, safely have them executing work in our workplaces? What do we do with women when they're menstruating? And we have different needs and requirements during that time. And what about menopausal women? And how do we address those hormonal changes that are happening that will, in fact, impact the workplace, and not necessarily negatively? We still have a lack of support in organizations. So women don't have access to mentorship programs, coaching programs, and most likely not a sponsorship if they want to move forward in executive roles. We have noticed women in occupational health and safety, we lose a lot of women when they go into their childbearing years. So we've got a large portion of women, 50% in our educational institutions, but then we're losing them. And when we look at certified safety professionals in Canada, we have a female proportion of about 36%. So we know they're not taking that next step in their careers. And we have to ask the question, why? And then we certainly, from my perspective, women in occupational health and safety are still hitting a glass ceiling. So we're not necessarily seen as executive table material if we do manage to work through an organization. And even women who are leading safety functions within organization often come from different disciplines, such as engineering. And so those are just some. What about you, Shannon? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I mean, touching on that organizational side of things, women occasionally will come into safety with different skill sets that may not be recognized as valuable to the organization. A lot of companies, and certainly both of us have experienced this, a lot of companies will prioritize operational experience. They want someone who's worked in the field. They want someone who comes with that knowledge to be able to talk to the workers within their safety departments. There are a lot of women who have those backgrounds, but there's an awful lot of women who come from more administrative backgrounds or HR backgrounds or rehabilitation backgrounds that may not necessarily have that operational experience. And if their skill sets are not recognized as being valuable within a safety department, then they're not going to, like Stephanie mentioned, they're not going to be able to get the opportunities to go to safety conferences or to take training courses or to join safety associations. One of the reasons that when we first started the Women in Occupational Health and Safety was we wanted to make sure it was affordable for women who may not have company support to pay for safety association fees. It's not attainable for everybody.